It is the Riot Podcast, Friday, March 18th. Happy Friday, y'all.
We are so glad it's Friday.
Yeah, we're in for a big weekend, I think.
So a lot of basketball games, I assume, on Monday. We'll come back from the weekend with lots to talk about.
Yeah, how all of our brackets have been completely annihilated.
Is anybody going to B-Dubs to watch anything?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'll probably end up somewhere watching the games for sure. Where I can get some wings, more than likely.
If you go, don't forget, I was just reading someone's take on the Mountain Dew that they have.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking, if anybody goes for any of the games and you try the exclusive Mountain Dew flavor at Buffalo Wild Wings, let us know what you think of it.
Good idea.
Yeah, we might have to stop the count today, I'm thinking, for the RadioU bracket challenge here after the first game today. Because currently Hudson and I are tied.
Oh, sure.
And I have a strong feeling that the first game today we probably picked different teams because it is
I think we did.
The Ohio State game. I would assume Hudson's hate for Ohio State continues into the basketball season.
So you know he didn't pick them.
I don't hate. I don't have strong feelings about their team, but also they're not really supposed to be very good.
So did you pick them?
You're not supposed to focus on that.
Exactly. So I picked Ohio State. Hudson did not. So there will be a change in the tie
So we'll
here.
see.
Right after the 12 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock hour for those of you on the West Coast.
We'll see if Isaiah's blind fandom.
See, I went in between, though. I picked them to win today's game, but I didn't go much further than that.
Yeah.
It's like I knew maybe they'll win this one.
Well, we'll just see, won't we?
Oh, we'll see. A couple other things that we talked about today. Also, we touched on some other sports stuff. Hudson and I had a rough day yesterday. It was just a rough day. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah.
Both of our teams did some things that we had to struggle with a little bit.
Yeah.
So not basketball, but instead the Packers and the Browns both had news yesterday.
Yeah.
And none of it's really the best.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't bode well for either of our Super Bowl hopes, but that doesn't mean we can't still have Super Bowl hopes. Until I'm hopeful until the season actually ends for each of our teams. I think there's still good stuff that can happen.
See, I thought, being not the football fan like that you guys are, I thought we wouldn't have anything to talk about football-wise.
You think,
Seems
right?
like
Yeah.
every day I come in, there's
You can
more,
always find something.
more gossip or more drama when it comes to it. So I am shocked that there's always something going on.
Every other sport is so jealous. They
Is it?
wish we would talk about them this much, but there's just not as much interesting stuff. But you know what? I just said how I'm hopeful and I won't lose that hope. That probably shows the difference between being a Packers fan and a Browns fan.
Sure.
Hey, I'm hopeful every year, baby.
eternally optimistic, even when they're like almost eliminated from the playoffs. They're like, they can turn it around. They got Aaron Rodgers. That's all they need. Where you're a Browns fan and you're like, how can they just make this worse somehow?
Yeah, that's how it goes for the most part. I've been hopeful my entire life. I'm like, well, this is our year. This year is the first year where I'm like, maybe, it just isn't. Like, maybe it isn't our year. But also, when I think about like coming into the season, I have to be positive because if I'm coming in negative,
Of course.
then what am I even looking forward to?
It's
right
all
now?
right. Guys, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it'll work out.
Yeah,
And you think,
right.
too, for all the drama that we have to talk about, like with the NFL, it's just like such a manly sport, but there's so much gossip, drama.
Yeah.
Like Baker's like tweeting about his team. Like so many things that just like don't align with the sport at all.
No.
Well, I promise you there's more than just sports in this podcast.
Yes.
What there is, you're going to get to find out. But as always, please make sure you text and say hi to 877-2-RADIO-U, especially if you're doing good in your bracket over the weekend, you want to rub it in, or if you lost completely and it's a waste, just get that into us before Monday so we can maybe include you in the show.
We'd love to hear from you. Mm-hmm. Well, should we leave the rest of mystery and check out?
I think that's good.
All right. We'll check you next time.
Bye. See
Bye,
you guys.
Some talking, a little bit of yelling, and a whole lot of eating. The Riot, RadioU.
Coors Light has done something, the beer. They've done something that is absolutely insane and fitting with the theming of this time of year. They have come out with a new Coors Light flavored lollipop. They call it the Lollipop, which is actually a pretty good name.
Yeah.
But you can
Yeah, it
buy
really
it.
runs right off.
You can buy a Lollipop. This is the most expensive lollipop I've ever seen. Nah, maybe not. $3.17. I guess if you go to like...
Have you been to Disney to buy
one of the big colorful ones? Yeah, you're right.
That's more than that.
But $3. This one though looks so tiny. Mm-hmm. This looks like Dum Dum size almost, and we're talking $3.17. It's already out of stock, but that was on the Coors Light shop website. If you really, for some reason, wanted that, what is not clear to me is whether this is alcoholic or not. Because it does say...
I think it's just flavored.
Yeah.
Because I think there's certain rules where how you sell something and like, does it look like something a under 21 could mistake for something that, like if it has alcohol in it, I mean, it's a sucker.
Yeah.
So you might not think that.
I'm looking at the packaging. It doesn't say anything.
It's just beer flavored, I believe.
But it does say it's intended for consumers 21 plus. But I mean... that they just have to say that.
Sure.
Because if it doesn't have alcohol in it, this is like, if you're like a child, this is like your chance. You could try this, and then you'd be like, oh, I don't want.
Because it's gross.
Yeah.
I do.
What's all the fuss about?
I find it funny, though. They're like, oh, the Lollipop is kind of branded for March Madness bracket stuff. And you're like, well, how does one equal the other?
Right.
I don't quite understand the tying together.
I think the only tie-in is that they're both... like it's both madness.
Is that
both things
it?
are insane. It makes no sense. There's no like sometimes things just happen that you can't account for, and that's what's going on. That's what Coors Light did. They just did something that has no real explanation.
Well, they keep going. Basketball fans can purchase. You're like, well, why is it just for what's basketball fans? Why is the tie-in?
You know, like normally you see all the commercials around this time of year for the basketball, like. You know, for a Coors Light commercial, and it would show all the people in slow motion sitting on the couch, and they're jumping up, and they're holding Coors Light cans in their hands. But in this case, they just all have suckers in their mouth. They're just slow motion jumping up in the air.
Well, they say that they developed this to add some calm to the rowdiness that is the tournament season. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's it. What weird...
they want you to chill out, huh?
And I guess just have a sucker.
With a chill Lollipop.
So it's a 6-pack for the $3.17.
Okay.
So
it's really not that expensive, but it is sold out at the moment. They may restock, they may not, but I don't know. I really cannot overstate how much Coors Light and some of these other beers, like they need to understand that people are not, they probably think to themselves in meetings, people drink our beer because of the
taste?
Yeah, the great taste. You know, I mean, sure, they love the effects, but it's the taste that really is what keeps them coming back.
I'll tell you what.
That's not
if you
true.
missed out and you really wanted one of the, the Coors Light Lollipops, just go to the store and get a lollipop, like a Dum Dum.
Yeah.
Put it on the floor. Opened, roll it around a bit, swish it in some like toilet water, a few other things, and then there you go. It's flavored, just like beer,
just about the same. I thought you were going to tell people to actually just dip a lollipop.
Oh no!
It sounds like these two need to do a little less TikToking and a little more tick listening. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson, Radio U.
Let's just have a football news clearinghouse right here.
Lots of news from yesterday.
Well, at least two things that tie into, I mean, they're big news around the league and specifically to Isaiah and I. So the biggest news of the day yesterday was that DeVante Adams, definite top 5 receiver in the NFL, possibly the best. He's been on the Green Bay Packers his whole career with, of course, Aaron Rodgers. So I've been a big supporter. And it was found out yesterday that he is being traded to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Do you think that he's excited about that?
It was all his call.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
okay,
it was 100%.
So he's good with it.
Plus, he gets to, I mean, I don't blame him. He gets to go from Green Bay to Las Vegas.
To Vegas?
Sounds like an upgrade to me.
You can see why he would want to make that switch, but also, so of course, there's a lot of people arguing about it it's because Aaron Rodgers was so high paid they couldn't afford him. Well, no, they offered him to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL. He still turned it down. Oh, it's because he didn't want to play with Aaron Rodgers. Well, maybe, but it's really because he was a teammate with the Raiders quarterback, Derek Carr, in college. He said it was his dream to play with Derek Carr in the NFL, so now he gets to. And he gets to go from Green Bay to Las Vegas, still be on a pretty good team. So turns out good for him. Not great for the Packers, but considering their hand was completely forced, they still got 2 pretty good draft picks. So hopefully hopefully they can sign somebody receiver-wise. But it was sad to see. It was unexpected, I'll say that. What's your take?
I would say if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm very upset today.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to be. He just signed a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
And literally his only receiver just left.
Yeah.
So he can't be very happy with the Packers right now. At the end of the day, though, DeVante Adams kind of like, he didn't force his way out of Green Bay, but he did make it very difficult for them to keep him.
Yeah.
But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm just upset. And so at the end of the day, though, he's already signed to a 4-year deal. He's already tried to escape once. There's no doing that
He's
again.
stuck there now, 100%. Now, there are a couple fine receivers on the market, but I don't know how well Green Bay is equipped to pay for them either. But I guess they were ready to make DeVante Adams the highest paid receiver in the league, which actually, even as big a fan of his, he is 30 or 29. I don't know. He's hitting the midpoint of his career where you sign him to a 5-year deal like he just got from the Raiders, and the end of that contract is going to look a little goofy. But,
Sure.
For now, though, it's sad to see somebody at the top end of their career that was Aaron Rodgers' only weapon go away.
Well, remember, Aaron Rodgers just signed a really nice deal. So for everybody who's upset and they're like a football player,
right.
they got plenty of money to drive their
exactly.
cars. They're fine.
He
just
let
got
his
paid, all
$200
right?
million hold him while he cries.
And for the guy who left, like, he's fine too. So they're all okay. But I saw the Cleveland Browns news yesterday too.
Yeah.
And
Sadness.
I was so sad for you.
Utter sadness, disaster. What did I say? What did I say earlier this week? I said this is what's going to happen. I said we're going to chase Deshaun Watson because we're like the ugly girl that's trying to chase like this beautiful man. This beautiful man. There's no chance he's coming to Cleveland, right? Like I said.
Yeah, you did.
And I said we just need to be nice to Baker. We're really disrespecting him, Baker. I'm so sorry. Apologized to him earlier this week. Did nothing. So sad. And so yesterday Baker requested a trade. So now we have one quarterback that nobody really liked in Baker. I liked Baker, but a lot of people didn't. Whatever. And now we have no quarterback. So
Because Deshaun Watson has said no, he's not doing anything with Cleveland Browns.
oddly enough.
So he's out.
Oddly enough. Who
So
would have
what
thought?
we're saying is Isaiah has a chance to now be the new Browns quarterback
Yeah,
if
exactly.
he gets up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think somehow in Cleveland they're going to figure it out. They've got enough else going on that whether they go into the season with Jimmy G or Baker Mayfield or some other somebody, what difference does it make? You had the chance at.
It's still hurtful. Okay,
Yeah, but
this
you had the
is
chance at the best guy, like a top
Did we?
5
Did
guy.
we have a chance, Hudson?
You
did
had
we?
a chance.
Did
I
we?
think
Because
it
he
was-
turned us down right away.
I think he
We were
was
the first team
playing
out.
with him. I think it was just it's a bargaining thing.
We were the first team out. It was so embarrassing because the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers were still on the mix. He just almost immediately turned the Browns down.
Yeah.
And then said, I actually need a couple more days to decide between these ones. But I know I'm not going with you.
Okay, so here's
Thank you, though.
Here's a question. So Baker Mayfield has requested a trade from the Browns. Is that just saying that, or is that pretty much like he's not going to?
I mean,
even if they offered him more money,
You can request a lot.
You can request a lot. Okay. I
Yes,
wasn't sure if that was just saying it because you're hurt. That's like saying, no, I've got plans already this weekend. We can't go out.
I mean, it
I'm
is
going to someone
negotiating
else.
because he's definitely emotionally scarred by this moment. But the Browns don't have to do. What is he not going to play? Is he really? Do you think he'll sit out if he doesn't get traded?
I don't know if he'll sit out, but I think that the relationship is so broken that the Browns are. I feel very confident they're going to trade him.
He said, it's in the mutual interest of both sides for us to move on. The relationship is too far fine to mend. It's in the best interest of both sides to move on.
Well, it probably is.
How many times can he say move on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I think he wants to move on.
I think it is in everybody's best interest, but that doesn't mean the Browns should definitely have to do it. They can maybe make it hurt a little for him.
Sounds toxic. Sounds real toxic this season. I can't wait.
We've done you a favor by selecting the best of the worst and compiling it all in one place. Riot Podcast Radio U.
Pete Davidson is no longer going to space on the next Blue Origin flight.
Yeah, we talked, was it yesterday that he was going?
It was just the last couple days. Yeah,
Yeah.
earlier this week it was
And
announced.
Then he decided no.
Yeah. Well, and when I first saw this, I was like, what, is he like that other guy? Is he too fat to go?
No, I don't think you have. I mean, they would have caught the health concerns.
Yeah. Well,
I
you
think,
would have
ahead of
thought, but that
time.
was the other guy.
Well,
Do you remember that story?
no, I don't.
Kyle, look it up. It's Kyle Hipchin is the guy's name. He was the mystery winner for, I think, the first Blue Origin flight.
Yeah.
He found out he couldn't go because the weight limit is 250 pounds.
Well, I don't think.
And he's 330.
Oh.
So I was like, there's no way Pete Davidson's over 250 pounds.
No.
No, they just, the real reason that he is not able to go is because they've delayed the flight by a few days. So instead of going up on March 23rd next week, it'll be March 29th. Mm-hmm. And so for some reason, Pete Davidson is no longer able to go. Man.
No, there's other reasons. Whenever someone's like, oh, it's just a couple days later, but suddenly I have something to do.
Yeah.
That's not what it is.
I mean, what could you possibly have a more important to do than go to space?
Well, it could be a few
especially if you're
things.
Pete Davidson.
It could be Blue Origin's like, no, Pete Davidson has a lot of stuff going on, a lot of controversy.
Oh, I think they'd be fine with that.
A lot of the Kim and Kanye stuff. Like, it just seems like there's a lot going on there. And maybe he doesn't want to do it anymore, but he's embarrassed to say.
So then they just moved it for everybody?
Could be.
I don't know. I think he's...
Health-wise, I mean, the William Shatner guy went up.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Like, he was older.
Which means he's under 250 pounds.
He's under 250
Good
pounds.
for him. Good for him. Yeah, I don't know why. You're right. There has to be some other explanation because what possibly could you have to do as Pete Davidson that's more important than going to space? Even if they did have to move it for whatever legitimate, maybe there's a scientific reason with the atmosphere. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they said or not, but you can reschedule whatever it is, or hey, maybe just cancel the recording of whatever dumb comedy you're working on. Just push that back. You'll make 1 million of those. Unfortunately, you only get to go to space once, probably.
But that's why,
especially for free.
If he changed his mind, let's just not bring it up again and embarrass him if he just doesn't want to go to space.
Yeah. Well,
so they're still trying to figure out who will be taking his position because his flight on Blue Origin was a gifted thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have to go to the next in line for like a celebrity or well-known person who would fit that spot. They're not looking probably for someone else who's going to pay.
They could make things right. Check in with that Kyle guy again. See if he lost the 80 pounds, so he's going to fit.
Yeah.
You didn't see that story?
I did not see that.
Man, that was that would suck. It was a while. He was going to go in September.
Yeah.
But he initially found out he was the winner. He was selected, and then it was like the weight limit's 250. He was 330.
That's like going and waiting in line for the roller coaster ride, and then you don't fit at the end.
The bar doesn't close on you.
Close, and everybody around you knows what's going on, but you just can't go.
Yeah, that's rough. But that 80 pounds is not going to be tough to drop in time. That's for sure.
No, I would just make someone else on the flight be like, all right, well, we'll just balance everything out. You over there lose more weight, or if you're under by a lot more, then
Yeah, it'll even out.
It'll be fine.
Would Hudson and Nikki's celebrity couple nickname be Hucky or Nidson? It's a good thing they aren't together. The Riot, Radio U.
Coming soon to theaters near you, a new movie about Play-Doh.
Hey.
Yeah.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
How are we making a movie about Play-Doh?
That's you could make it could be about anything.
What is it a documentary about like how Play-Doh was created?
No, not that we know of.
Is there a story with it and Play-Doh saves the world?
There's a million stories that you could tell with the power of Play-Doh.
All right, let's hear what they came up with.
But it hasn't been come up with yet.
It's an animated movie too.
They've determined that they are making a Play-Doh movie. It looks like Emily V. Gordon is going to be the screenwriter. John M. Chu is producing with the potential to direct. Mm-hmm. And they are going to be, here's what they said together. They said, the team looks forward to bringing the audience a moldable, pliable, iconically scented story about the importance of imagination.
Dude, I'd love it if you went to the movie and you know how sometimes you can get, like if you get the glasses or you get like a commemorative popcorn tub or tin or something.
That they charge extra for.
Yeah, like here you get Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And you can just use that during the movie if you don't like any of it.
Well, you have to have the smell, right? Mm-hmm. You have to have the smell. And it's supposed to be good for stress, like sometimes. And if you're I think people should do this more in meetings. You need something to like mess with that if you can like keep your hands busy,
Fidget.
it keeps your mind focused. And so you have to have if you have Play-Doh in your hands, you can focus on the movie even more because you just be playing with the Play-Doh. And it would just add to the experience because you're watching a Play-Doh movie.
It's just hard with, especially the Hasbro stuff. Like for those movies, what really they're doing is they're trying to create a movie they can market for merchandise. So the movie is the delivery device.
So what you're saying is
selling you items.
Coming soon to theaters is the Play-Doh movie, and coming soon to stores is Play-Doh stuff based off of new Play-Doh sets based off of the Play-Doh movie.
Exactly.
Well, you know what though? When they announced the Lego movie way back when, people were probably like, "How are you going to make a movie about Lego? They're just toys." And then look at that movie; it was pretty fun, right?
I think that is easier than with Play-Doh.
Why not? With Play-Doh, the world is your oyster. You can. It's all about imagination, and you can do anything with Play-Doh. That's the brilliance of Play-Doh. You can mold it into whatever you want, including a new hit movie. Yeah.
Actually, they're probably hoping for a series of movies to again promote Play-Doh.
Literally just make a movie. It could be about whatever they want, just like with Lego. It could be about anything. It could be about Batman. It's not going to be because they haven't made that agreement, that licensing deal. But it could be about something, and then it's just, but everybody happens to be made out of Play-Doh, and all of a sudden, you're making a Play-Doh movie.
Well, I feel bad for all the independent filmmakers who are like, hey, I have this really great, fresh new story, something that I think will really connect with audiences, and they get nothing. And then they're like, here, what are you doing, John?
Yeah.
And John's like, I'm making the Play-Doh movie.
Play-Doh movie,
and I got
$1
billion for it.
If you're looking for diet motivation, you won't find it here. The Riot, RadioU.
Are you ready for the hot new challenge that you're not supposed to do?
Oh, like on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing? Or not doing?
You're not supposed to do this. But unless you want views and likes, it's the Orbeez challenge. Have you seen this?
Well, that's been around. Orbeez have been around for a while.
Orbeez have, but the challenge is new and it's getting people in trouble.
What are you supposed to do with them?
What you're not supposed to do with them.
Sorry, you're right. I'm sorry.
Unless you want views and likes.
Do you know what? I follow with the crowd.
And also criminal charges.
I do whatever people tell me.
All right. Well, then you have right now is you have to decide who you're going to listen to. Are you going to listen to TikTok or me and the police?
Tell me what we're not to do.
Because we're telling you to not do the Orbeez challenge. The Orbeez challenge, first of all, if you don't know what Orbeez are, they're little like gel balls. I guess you put them in water and then they grow a little bit.
Yeah,
and then you can like mush them around.
Every time I saw them, I was like, ooh, boba. And it's not something
I guess
you're
they do
supposed
look
to
like
eat.
that, don't they? They're a lot brighter, but similar. So what with Orbeez, the Orbeez challenge, what people are doing is taking their Orbeez, putting them in airsoft guns, and shooting them at people.
Oh no, we can't do that.
Yeah, that's not good. Shooting airsoft is bad enough. I know that's not supposed to be dangerous or whatever, but if you get a pretty good airsoft gun, those leave some pretty good marks. So I don't even think you're supposed to shoot those at just random passersby.
Yeah.
But that's what people are doing with the Orbeez challenge, where you have one guy in Florida who he's 19 years old. He did the Orbeez challenge shooting at an Amazon delivery driver.
No, not Amazon.
While he was driving.
No.
While he was driving the car.
Aww.
It hit the guy in the glasses and the neck. And then also shot at another random adult and 10-year-old child and hit them. So that person, that 19-year-old guy that did the Orbeez challenge, he is being charged with shooting into an occupied vehicle, child abuse, and 2 counts of battery.
Listen, if you want to shoot yourself with your Orbeez, that's one thing. Or if you want to shoot like your best friend, that's different. But if you're shooting strangers, they say that the biggest issue is what you're shooting the Orbeez with could be mistaken for an actual firearm.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go and shoot at strangers,
it still hurts probably.
It does. But
I don't know. I haven't been shot with an Orbeez. I've been shot with airsoft. And again, I'm not like, I'm not some baby. But I've experienced some top of the line airsoft guns in my day, and that is it's not a lot of fun. I'll tell you what. I was looking at the Orbeez website, and it is kind of ironic. It says Give me more Orbeez. Sprinkle the seeds in water and watch them magically transform into oh-so-satisfying, gotta-have more squishy-squeezy, super colorful Orbeez. What can you do with your Orbeez?
Well,
What can't you do with your Orbeez, it
that's
says.
right.
You can't shoot them at people. That's what you can't do.
Orbeez are designed, it sounds like Play-Doh when we were just talking about it a moment ago. They say they're designed for educational, creative, and sensory play, and they're not intended to be used as projectiles or inserted into, a gun and shot at something.
But coming soon, the Orbeez movie. We already have an idea.
So I bet you that licensing's been sold a long
ties
time
right
ago.
in. It's about this 19-year-old that attacked people with his Orbeez.
Well, why don't we just plan on this? I know it's tempting, but if they call something a challenge, so the Orbeez challenge, at first your mind's like, well, yeah, this sounds fun. If it says challenge on it, don't do it.
The real challenge is to not do it.
Why are Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah always eating on the show? The more we feed them, the less they talk. The Riot. Radio U.
We have a RadioU group. You can link up to it. Obviously, I think it's too late to join.
Yeah.
I maybe if you already made a bracket, you might be able to. I don't know. But either way, it's called RadioU Music Mania. But you can find it on our RadioU social media where you can see how you stack up against the three of us and the rest of the RadioU DJs. It's time for us to take a collective look at how we're doing.
Well, I'm out.
You're out?
No, you're not out.
I don't want to be in anymore.
You're not out. It's the first day,
It's
Nikki.
it's one
the first
day. There's still a lot that can happen.
Why did Kentucky do that? What happened?
I know, that was such a disappointment.
It was.
I mean, such a disappointment. I mean, I don't have them as my champion. If you have them as your champion,
You're
you probably
destroyed.
should just your bracket's looking pretty tough.
Hey,
You
everyone.
did?
Hey, everybody.
You picked them as your champion?
I
Rookie
did
mistake.
I did pick them as my champion.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
So when did you
but
find out?
unfortunately, only one out of my 10 brackets did I
Sure.
have them as my
No,
champion.
you can't. Don't do this. We're not doing this right now. We're not doing this.
So when did you find out? Was it last night?
Yeah, I was
game?
watching it.
Yeah.
I was watching it. And we're watching, and you just keep thinking in a game like this, at least for me, that it's just like, well, it's close all the way, but they're going to figure it out. What, is Kentucky going to lose to St. Peter's? Even as it gets down to the final moments and they're down by 3 points, it's like, what? They're going to figure it out. And then they got it to overtime, which it sometimes felt a little unlikely. So it's like, in overtime, they're going to figure it out. And in overtime, they probably looked worse than they did for the rest of the game.
Aww.
So it was tough to watch. And I'll tell you, St. Peter's, their star player, I don't know his name, he has a unique look to him.
What do you mean?
He's got a mustache.
Heck yeah, he does.
You have a mustache? What's his look
No,
like?
I have a full, what is this, a goatee, a full beard? He just has only a mustache.
It's a power move, is what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Does
It's a
it
little
feel
bit of
like?
He looks like he's a
moxie.
member of Holland Oates or something like that.
Does it feel like he's not shaving that until the tournament's
Oh,
over?
yeah, he's keeping that thing all
he
the
should.
way.
He definitely should.
A little
keep
extra
it.
mojo on him,
Yeah,
a little extra flavor on the lip.
Mustache. I'm trying to Google him. See
Look,
if he
St.
comes up.
Peter's mustache. See what comes up.
Wow.
I think his last name is Edert or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. He
And
was.
it looks a lot better after you beat Kentucky.
Yeah,
if
that's
you lose
right.
that game, then everybody today, then you're a meme. But when
Right.
you win that game, everyone's like, oh, the mustache.
You're the good
All
kind
right.
of meme today.
All right.
So that broke my bracket, but I'm not going to get too down about it. I don't think, oddly enough, a lot of people had Kentucky losing. So even though I had them going to my championship, being the champions, I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over it. But that was a big upset. But other than that, did anybody? So disregarding that, which busted probably almost everybody's brackets, how are we doing?
I still don't want to talk about it. I think I'm in last. I'm in last out of RadioU.
Yeah, out
but
of
it's
our
close,
DJs.
though. It's very close.
It's still early on. There's
It's still
so
so
much.
early. I mean,
Guys,
Hey,
I appreciate
look at-
your supportiveness right now, and it's amazing. But no, we're done.
Who did you pick to win? Villanova?
Villanova.
Well, look at
Yeah,
this
they're
way.
still playing.
They're still in it.
I mean, have they played their game yet? No.
Tell you what.
Did they still lose? Yes.
Don't tell me if whenever their game is. Don't tell me how it goes.
how are you feeling about your prospects going forward?
I feel pretty good. The team that I picked to win it all was Arizona, and they are still
haven't
playing.
not played yet.
They're still playing, so they have a game today.
Yeah.
And as long as they win, I'll feel really good.
Yeah.
But some of the other teams I really wanted to win yesterday, Iowa lost. That one hurt me. That was a big upset.
yeah.
And that hurt a lot of people, I think. But also, The big game I wanted to happen, which was the upset that I picked, was New Mexico State.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Beating UConn, because I have them winning a couple games. So I knew if they won yesterday, because not a lot of people picked them, and I did, that would be a big boost for me. And so that kind of saved my day.
Well,
Look
hopefully
at
everybody's
Isaiah.
brackets are doing well. Like, there's not games every day, though, right?
There's today, and then there'll be games over the weekend, and then Monday we get a break.
Great,
Monday
okay.
and until next Thursday.
All right.
So
When we come back on Monday,
yeah,
I mean, if we think our bracket's busted right now,
right.
if you're hurting
It'll be
today,
thoroughly destroyed.
wait till the show on Monday so then we can really make you feel bad about yourself.
This is why I never wanted us to do a Radio U bracket, because it just gets too much. Like, we're
I
just
know.
going to be
but
too upset
we
about
all
it.
get to feel stupid together.
Yeah,
is the
that's
fun
true.
part.
That
It
is.
just,
It's
as
a
long
gr-
as you don't
it's-
finish in last, that's like it's of the Radio U people. So I know, Nikki, it's early on. But listen, Sydney's in first of the Radio U people right now. We know that won't hold out. Come on.
Right. There's
That's
still,
not going to last.
And I'm not like last. I'm just the
No.
last out of us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's plenty other people below mine.
You're ahead of the people that didn't fill out a bracket at all.
You won't finish in last because there's 3 people who didn't fill out their brackets, so
They're
no last
guaranteed to
placers.
get 0 points.
No wonder this is a stressful time for everybody.
Absolutely perfect. No notes. The Riot on Radio U.
Chik-fil-A, despite having near universally beloved chicken, somehow manages to be controversial.
Well, I think because of some of the, I don't know. Everybody just loves to hate something that's successful.
Yeah.
So I feel like they get a lot of hate no matter what.
Yeah, and success comes with its own treachery that you have to navigate. Well, we have one Chick-fil-A that is in danger of losing its drive-through. This is in Santa Barbara, California, because the drive-through line gets so long that it blocks traffic. And so the city is considering declaring the Chick-fil-A a public nuisance, and which would force them to close the drive-through
Of that location?
Yeah, of that location.
It's kind of hard when you read, like, if you had a business around there or if you happen to live close by, it must be awful because they say during the weekdays, it can get up to like an hour. Weekends can be almost 2 hours long of traffic.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the Chick-fil-A traffic, then others get caught in it and it just
Sure.
gets longer and longer. Outside of like In and Out, usually Chick-fil-A is also the place that has
that has the
continually
longest
long
lines. Yeah, which sucks because you're just gonna punish this business for being they're too successful. They're doing too good a job. So I don't know. I'm sure that I have to imagine that some kind of agreement will be met where they are going to be able to at some
Compensate.
point. Well, I was
The
going
other
to say
places?
like modify something so that the drive-through line is more contained.
Yeah.
And isn't spilling out into blocking other businesses. They say they've received numerous public comments about auto collisions and cyclist safety concerns
Oh, from
since
the long
2013. I think the cyclists could figure it out,
Well, if they're not paying attention.
The
and
cars
then-
aren't moving. Well, they
Yeah.
should be paying attention.
I don't know. I mean, you get distracted.
Yeah, by the ooh, you smell the Chick-fil-A.
You do.
Yeah, you can't help that.
Well,
so
you're mad at first because you're like, hey, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
But it really does affect businesses and people who live around in the area. So they were saying that in this case, and then sometimes in other locations, it could be that when they first started and they were approved and the drive-thru
Right.
was set up, no one thought it would be that long.
yeah. Well, also you have to consider that Chick-fil-A, especially during the pandemic and probably especially in California,
Got bigger
so
and bigger.
yeah, just their drive-through is so much even more mobbed because nobody can go in, could go in. And so they say this has been going on since 2013, but I think it's probably gotten worse in the last couple of years, which is why it's become more of an issue.
Well, they were saying that maybe for not just Chick-fil-A, but if you have another place that just has long lines, that they might have to move locations.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to be that big, they need to have an area where they can properly set up a drive-through or a long lane situation. Because once they start hitting the main road,
Yeah.
then what became their business road.
Yeah.
Now it's onto
Now
the.
it's
public.
The road is not supposed to be a drive-through line.
Correct. Yeah.
So it is funny. You see sometimes like fast food restaurants that have like this big long drive-through, and there's never anybody in it. And then you see Chik-fil-A, and they have to have this tiny little parking lot, and the whole parking lot is drive-through because it's just so popular. But hey, while we're complaining about Chik-fil-A, let's take up with the real issue, which is their tenders.
What? What about them?
Have you gone to Chik-fil-A recently?
Oh, are they smaller now?
Have you heard about shrinkflation?
Oh, no. Well, what's the other one? Canes.
Yeah.
Canes, theirs have also again gone
but
down.
they were bad before the pandemic, but Chick-fil-A is even worse. I think their chicken tenders were in the pool because it was really bad.
At first, when you look at it, you're like, what sick chicken was this from?
Yeah, right.
But it's getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Oh,
so.
I'm sorry to hear you had the trouble.
I had to order like five orders just to feel full.
And what's worse is if you have to wait like an hour to get those sickly chicken tenders.
I had to order catering just so that I had enough food for myself.
Oh, no.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than hell. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
There's something worth celebrating every day if you just think hard enough and look hard enough. So today, what would you like to celebrate? How about National Sloppy Joe Day?
Oh,
Now we're talking.
Are we
I feel
Sloppy
like
Joe
it's
fans
been
in the
a while.
room?
We are.
Yeah.
That'll do.
I don't think I've had a Sloppy Joe in about 20 years.
I feel like I need to have my mom make it for
20
us.
years?
Yeah, I've never made one myself.
Oh, no, me either.
It was my mom's staple. That was like, that was usually a night where she was putting in little effort.
Yeah.
She's like, I got a can of manwich and we're good to go.
Now,
But man, that doesn't mean it wasn't one of the best nights of the week.
See, I made manwich once for Eric, and I think he was kind of acting like manwich is different than Sloppy Joe's, though. Is it
What?
the same, basically?
Yeah,
or-
you know what? Because sometimes mom would do, sometimes she would do like homemade Sloppy Joe something, and it wasn't the same. And you know what? It wasn't as good.
What?
As manwich?
What?
Yeah.
That's a bold take.
What? Because manwich is like when she would make it. Now, this, of course, this doesn't apply to everybody. When my mom would make the Sloppy Joe, whatever, it wasn't as. I think manwich is tomato based, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think hers was tomato based, so it didn't have that tang to it.
I hope your
what
mom's
it is.
listening. I hope she's listening
Yeah.
right now. Like,
I'd have to
okay,
talk to
Hudson.
her.
All right.
I hope she's mad at you.
I hope she's
She's gonna
upset
send me
with
some
you.
homemade Sloppy Joe in the mail.
I just
a bag
remember
of it.
liking Sloppy Joe way more than the manwich thing.
Oh, you're opposite.
Yeah.
Because then my mom would always put, like, you get a slice of cheese, not good cheese, just cheese. And then you would get a bun.
Yeah, right.
And it was just perfect.
Oh, but you got to toast the bun. You toast it with butter? Oh no, that's
Never
how
did
I
that.
did it.
Soft and
It
squishy
sounds
bun.
good, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's good.
How did you do Sloppy Joe in your house?
I don't know. My mom made it, and I consumed it, but we did have buns, and they were soft.
Was it manwich?
I don't know even what manwich is.
What
Like, when you
color was it?
say
What color was
manwich, It was like a maroon, right? Like a brownish.
Let me look up the manwich on my screen. See, I'll show
I don't
it.
think it was manwich.
You don't think?
It is-
No.
Is your mom listening? Sometimes she
I know
listens.
my Apple Watch buzzed.
Look
I was
at
really
this.
hoping that it was her texting me saying, no, it was we didn't do manwich.
It wasn't that?
It's not the same.
I
It's
don't
different.
think that's what it was because I feel like she made it. She definitely made it. I don't know if that comes in a can, then she definitely didn't do that. I don't think.
Well, if you look at a picture of Sloppy Joe, it's pretty similar.
That's what I'm saying. Like it looks
Yeah.
similar, but I'm pretty sure she made it. Like I don't think that she made it out of a can. But all I know is it was so good.
Oh man, looking at these pictures though.
That'll do.
Look
I
at
was
those things.
I was very reluctant as a child to do the whole Sloppy Joe thing. Oh, but here comes the text. Homemade, she says. Homemade it was. But as a child, I was a little bit reluctant. Surprise, surprise, because it was like a sloppy thing. Like it just doesn't look appealing. But then obviously I was forced to try it. And I was like, oh, this is good.
Well, it
This
looks
is
like
real
if you
good.
just Google it, manwich is the marketed version of Sloppy Joe sauce that you can find like in the store. So Sloppy Joe is like the homemade thing.
Yeah.
And then manwich was just what if you got it out of their can.
So it's really the same.
I
but my
remember
mom was
there-
doing something different. She was going off, a different version of Sloppy Joe altogether.
So Sloppy Joe is ground beef, onions, tomato sauce or ketchup, the Worcestershire sauce.
Ooh, that's what makes it good.
There it is. Seasonings on a hamburger bun.
And I think I got to have some sloppy Joe this weekend.
Oh, I need some. I need her to make the sloppy Joe again. She said the secret ingredient, hers was she made with brown sugar in there. And oh man, it was so good.
Hey,
Sloppy Joes are so good.
Why don't you just get your mom to make a bunch for us?
That
I want
sounds
to try
good,
a recipe.
doesn't it? Right?
Yeah.
I was hoping someone would bring some in for today, for like a little Radio U lunch.
So today is National Sloppy Joe Day, and it just reminds me, I hate not living at home anymore.
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm like, I've never made these things, but I know I love them.
I want someone else to make something for me.
I'll say for my mom, I never thought she was like an amazing cook, but then when you list all the things that she made that I really like and miss now that I don't live with her, maybe she was.
She sounded like a good mom.
Yeah.
There are two types of people in this world, and Hudson has a problem with both. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but how about judge a driver by their vehicle? Can we do that?
We've talked about it before on like sometimes your car says something about you, or like if you have a certain style, or if you like keep it messy or something.
Yeah. Well, in this case, your car might be telling the world that you are a drunk.
A drunk driver?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bold statement.
Yeah.
I guess you want to know so that your car does not say that.
Right. So that and if you're not an owner of one of these cars,
Sure.
so that you can steer far clear when you see these people out on the road.
Do they still give out like if you get so many drunk driving things? Like, don't you get a license plate also that is different?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't gotten a DUI, so.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you get like if it's your first or second, there's different license plates to show that you've been through that. If not, I'm making that all up.
Yeah, right. I mean, you couldn't have made that up out of thin air.
I don't think so, but I didn't know if they still do something like that.
If not, they should. So we have a list of the top 10. I don't know if we'll probably list every single car in the top 10, but we have the top 10 cars that have the highest percentage of drivers or owners that have gotten a previous DUI. This was put out by a insurance comparison site called Insurify. So how they do it is every time somebody enters in their info on Insurify to compare rates of different car insurance providers, they have to enter in what kind of car they own and if they've had a DUI, among other information. So they're able to use that to find out, based off of the total number of people that own a car, what percent of those people have had a DUI. Yeah. So we'll do the top 5. Number 5 is the GMC Sonoma. That 3.09% of GMC Sonoma owners have had a DUI in the past.
That's a truck, right?
Yes. 4 is the Audi A4. 3 is the Chevrolet S-Series trucks.
Seems to be seeing some trucks on the list.
2 is the Subaru WRX.
What is that? I'll have to look it up.
It's like all Subarus are like 4-wheel drive,
Okay.
right? You would know it if you saw it. And then number 1, the Dodge Ram 2500, coming in 4.9%. Basically, 1 out of every 20 Dodge Ram owners
has a
DUI.
No,
according to this.
Wow.
That's a crazy high amount.
I don't know about that.
Now, if you look down through the top 10, in total, 7 out of the top 10 are pickup trucks.
Yeah, that
and then
seems
you
to
also
be
have
something.
the WRX, which came in at number 2, the Audi A4, and then the Ford Contour, which has not been made for years.
I looked that one up. I've never heard of it before.
No, that one there can't be a ton of those left on the road. So, I don't know. That feels like a starter car that's been handed down to you like 2 or 3 times. And that was number 10 on the list. So, basically, if you see somebody driving a pickup truck, there's a chance, there's a better chance than for every other car that they have had a DUI.
That's a sweeping statement based on this, but it is surprising to see trucks there.
It is.
So.
What do you think accounts for that? Do you think it's like a mindset of people that drive trucks or in some way? Or is it just like there's more police looking for pickup trucks? So, like, what could it be?
Well, I think that alcohol seems to be marketed towards the pickup truck type of world.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of that in all the advertising.
Yeah. The country song, every country song is about basically getting a DUI in your pickup truck. So now we know why. It's a true story.
If you have that or a Contour.
Yeah, right.
That's a really weird survey there.
Yeah.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.